Hello everybody and welcome. This is Thomas Mark and this is our next installment for the tank roll call for World of Tanks. Before I get into the tank we're going to showcase today, I did want to go ahead and go back to the T1 Cunningham real quick. I wanted to go ahead and show the statistics screen for each individual tank I'm going to showcase up to mastery to kind of give you an idea of how long it took me to do this, generally maybe even how well I did. And how many games I actually played with the tank. To kind of just give a little bit of context on where I'm coming from with my opinions on the tank. Again, I'm by no means an ace. This particular tank, the Cunningham, did end up earning a gunner. Somehow I got 5 penetrating hits in a row. I did 15 total battles, although, as you saw last game, or last video, 2 of those was showcased to you. So in total, I really only did 13, 9 victories, 4 defeats, and apparently I only survived 3 of those up until last night, anyway. Apparently, I've only ever destroyed 3 tanks with this, or 3 tanks with this tank. So generally, I mean, it was one of the first tanks. The T1 is actually the first tank I did go ahead and level up. When I first started doing this, I wanted to do the American tanks first. I did end up going into the German tanks next because I love the way German tanks look. They look pretty to me. And only after I bought all those slots did I decide, well, let's go ahead and go back and do the Russian ones. So on the T1 stats showcased here is actually the first tank I really rolled with, seriously rolled with. So hey, 10 victories, that ain't bad. But this is the tank I wanted to go ahead and showcase for today. This is the Leichttraktor, also known as the LOLtractor in the game itself. Looks a little bit prettier than the T1 in my opinion. A little bit more angular, not quite as goofy looking. I've not actually bought the upgrades yet. Let me go ahead and do that right quick. You can see here the turret itself changes as I change. I think actually, look-wise, I think I actually on this particular tank like that old one better, but I need the new one. Let's see here. Apparently, I never actually even ended up buying the max tank or max engine for this one. I'll go ahead and do that now. Either that or it's sold when I sold the tank earlier. Go ahead and get the next suspension. Yeah, that must be it because I know I had the suspension. And go ahead and get this here. And I believe either way you go with this tank, it's the automatic gun. I'm going to go ahead and get the slightly better one. Even though apparently, well, again, I probably had it, but I sold it. Go ahead and resupply my ammo, which is going to cost me money for some reason, but whatever. It's got the little headlight on it too. Before we go into the actual battle, we'll go ahead and take a look at what a little notation here says about it. It says it was produced through 1930 through 34. 4 prototypes with different armament, crew, weight, and suspension features were manufactured. So it wasn't really a heavily utilized tank. Again, if you go to the World of Tanks wiki, they really go into depth of far more information than that little blurb goes. So let's go ahead and just pop right in. Again, this is another case where I just bought this tank and I have a fresh crew. Actually, let me exit this battle real quick. Exit. Let's look at the statistics real quick. See how well I even did with it. I really don't remember. So apparently I only did 6 battles with it, and that kind of gives you an idea actually of for the T1 tanks how fast you can actually level out of them. Because I do have this thing mastered. So 6 battles. I only ever killed 1 thing. I won 4 of them, lost 2, survived 2 battles. So you get out of these tier 1s pretty darn quick. I didn't have any rewards or anything. Okay, let's go into the battle. Whole point of me going back to the T1 is to do that, and I almost forgot to do it this time. Again, we'll do probably 2 battles, see how we do. Again, if I get blown up immediately the first 2 times, we'll do a 3rd one. I'm going to go ahead and pause until we actually get into the battle. So I will see you then. Alright, we're getting started now. Heimeldorf, my favorite. Looks like it's all T1s, except the enemy team has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 12 tanks, they have 11? That's odd. I don't think I've ever seen that. That must be something relatively new. But anyway, something I did want to mention about the LOLtractor. We saw there that I only had like 6 matches with this, and I'd leveled all the way up. One thing that isn't really tracked there is there's more ways to gain experience points in a match. You will always get some base mount just for winning, but one of the damaging a enemy tank will give you experience. Also, spotting them will, and also if you take part in any captures, you will get a percentage of points that way. So since this, when I went into the LOLtractor, I was a little bit more experienced. You can take that into account. I was getting more experience per match. 13 for a newbie is probably a pretty good one. Also, this briquette gun, it's really easy to do damage with this thing. It just fires so quickly and so rapidly. You can spam it and you'll be hitting stuff. So, and that counts as a damage, and that counts for your XP score later on. Speed-wise, this feels about as fast as the last tank. Now, one thing, I didn't mention this on the T1, but it's also true on this LOLtractor, is the turret is behind the tank, so you kind of have to expose yourself in order to get a good shot at safety things. This LOLtractor ain't even paying attention. Dag nab him. At least he didn't damage me. I don't know what he's doing. But you see here how I'm completely exposed. I guess I can turn around, but it kind of reverses your controls when you do that. And also, you don't go as fast backwards, generally speaking. Some tanks that doesn't matter, like a B2, which we'll get to, that doesn't matter. This one, it does. You can see here I'm going pretty darn slow, whereas if I go forward, quite a bit faster. It takes a little bit of time to ramp up. Now, that isn't to say that these light tanks, even again the T1, I didn't mention this, they do have decent acceleration, so it isn't like I'm like completely screwed or anything. Over here, moron. I'm exposed. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go forward. Looks like everybody else has covered me. Cover me, T1. I'm going in. I could probably go around behind him, although he's probably covered. We have a team killer. Oh, looky here.
We've hit them hard. Target acquired. Enemy armor is hit. Track hit.
I wish this thing would lock on like I'm telling it to.
Looks like that one went
I'm probably going to die here. So I'm just, there we go.
We've got them. He's gone. Find another target. We've lost the track. We're immobilized. That's gotta hurt. Vehicle destroyed.
Yeah. I did a lot of damage, though. I did quite a bit there. That's one bad thing about well, it's a good and bad thing about that high rate fire gun. I'm doing a lot of damage. I'm doing a lot of spam. Although the downside is you don't do a whole lot of damage with it. So, you bear that in mind when you're using these things. See if we ever can find another L1 to watch. Or L1, LOLtractor. Looks like we're pretty handily winning this, even when we had a team killer. So that's good. I have no idea what kind of gun he's sporting. I think, I'm not sure if that's the bigger turret or not. Nothing behind you, is there? Yeah, I mean T1 versus Tier 1 versus Tier 1 battles is he doesn't have a brick gun. He has a big boy. It's probably a newbie tank. I'm not sure if that turret doesn't look small to me. But T1 versus T1 battles, they they tend to be pretty quick, one way or the other, if handled right. Oh, just capture the stupid base. Whatever, we win. It's kind of an lopsided match. I don't understand that. That's other than the fact that that's a tier 2 they had. But even then, that's not that big of a deal. It's not that having one tier 2 on your side doesn't mean you are equal to 2 tanks by any means. Yeah, see, I detected 1, killed 1, got 2. I doubled experience because of the first match of the day. Otherwise, I would have got like 252. So. Well, there's also another thing. I was also going premium when I was going through these other stuff, so that actually helps as well. Oh well. Next match. One more. I guess he did have the second one. Let me look at the other turret real quick. Yeah, he had the second turret. What? Stop servicing and completing and all this jazz. Resupply that automatically. Make sure everything's all right. Yes, resupply. Ah, man, this game's whiny sometimes. Let's go. Oh, go ahead and pause it while we wait. Alright, we're back. Have a little bit better, more even teams. A few T2s on both sides for this one. Should be fun. Mines again. Oh, we're starting on this side. Problem is, I'm using this rapid fire gun. I don't want to sit in the little ambush spot. That'd be a waste. It'd be a waste of my time, everybody's time. I would do damage with it, but I wouldn't be as effective as somebody that has a good heavy hitter hitting one-shot gun. Something else you're going to notice when you do these T1 battles is you're never going to see artillery and tank destroyers. Those are T2 tier 2. I'm trying to avoid saying T1 and T2 because those are actually tanks as well. But just bear with me if I do slip up, because it's very easy to just say T2. But anyway, the tier 2 I'm wanting to say mechs too, and that's incorrect as well. That's me wanting to play Mech Commander. Or hell, make a game like this that has mechs in it. There we go. Do that, Wargaming. I'll do a video series on that in a hurry. By the way, you don't have to worry about artillery and tank destroyers when you fly I'm mixing up all kinds of metaphors. when you drive around in a tier 1. Don't have to worry about it. Artillery does add some interesting complications to the fights. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to shoot those guys because they look mean. I missed, and I announced my presence. Yay. Looks like they're all going for the hill, so I guess I'll go for their base. That sounds like a plan to me. Probably a very poor plan. I'm not in a heavy hitter, as I've repeatedly stated. Probably sounds like I'm giving this kind of gun a hard time. You will hear me not giving it a hard time when I get to the Panzer II. There we go. There's a little happy, fun contender down here. Except I'm pretty sure he saw me go down here. Well then, I guess he's just going to be a happy, fun contender that isn't paying attention. Or maybe I'm the one that's going to get ambushed. We'll see in few mere moments. Well, hell, if nobody's going to come after me, I'm going to go this way. Aha! There's someone. There he is. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Wasn't even paying attention to our kill scores. Apparently we're losing badly. I don't even know where that guy's at. Oh, he's over by the lighthouse. Alright. Any other LOLtractors to follow that are still alive? I don't see any. Alright, I want to go ahead and pause recording while we wait for this to finish. And we're finally done. I got no experience. I don't think I did a single thing, except maybe detect somebody. Okay, I detected a couple of people, but still. Don't get a whole lot for detection, unless you detect a whole lot of people, and then you get like a battle trophy for it or some such. So that's it. I'm not gonna dwell on the. I'm not gonna dwell on the tier 1s here. Huh. I don't have auto repair. It must just automatically repair since it's 0. That's a new feature too. It didn't used to do that, I don't think. I actually have auto. Well, I think I pretty much already said that. I've turned auto repair off on all these other ones. But, in fact, I think it defaults to off. So does resupply ammo. I always put that to automatic. But anyway, that is the Leichttraktor, also known as the LOLtractor. I didn't survive either one of those engagements. Yes, there's a reason I like the Martyr too. We have 8 games, another additional win, additional loss. I've destroyed an additional tank. We're just improving the stats here. I even got a little bit of a Master Gunner reward for that one. Aren't we special? Again, I do like this design a lot better. That really just applies to German tanks. They look more angular. They look more. They look meaner. They're gray, which for some reason I just like that. You can see here they got actual armor protecting the wheels of the treads as well. Nothing actually protecting the treads themselves, but if you remember on the T1 Cunningham, they actually had that all open. As far as speed, this thing goes 36, which is actually slower than the T1. Traverse speed is something I didn't mention. This one goes 38 degrees a second, which isn't bad. Let me go ahead and go run back to the T1 right quick. Stop moving. You're moving again. Stop it. There we go. Traverse on that was 38. So, pretty much the same traverse. When I was talking about actually turn rates on the T1, I think I had a damaged track. So, I wasn't giving it a fair run there when I was talking about it. Again, overall, it's a T1. The briquette gun does. It's not. This isn't a briquette gun on this. It's called a Beretta. Anyway, the semi-automatic gun there does uh, provide different opportunities. I do believe all these are AP ammos for the this one, which isn't ideal. This is going to do nothing against heavier tanks. Tier 2 tanks is it's too low of a caliber, too low penetration. Even though you're spamming a lot of shots because they're armor piercing, they're never going to penetrate anything on heavier armor, unless you just get lucky. Of course, you're putting out enough bullets, so it's easy to kind of get a couple weak spots. But overall, you're not going to get kills with this that particular gun. The base gun is a more traditional. I don't even know if you can get HE with this. I guess you can if you wanted to. Yeah, you have to pay for it, but then you got the heavier gun anyway, so you want the armor piercing, especially low tiers. Don't let that turn you off though. To the higher rate of fire, there is something to be said about that. It's easier to fire on the run. You can lock on to targets. Normally that isn't the ideal because you want to pinpoint your shots, but if you're moving anyway, your shots are going to scatter regardless. You just wanted to pump as much ammo into that general area as you can when you're moving. But we will get into that a lot more when I get into the Panzer II. Which I don't think it's actually called a Panzer II. But I keep referencing some other tanks that I like better than these tanks. And don't. It's like any other game, honestly. You don't really have the fond memories of the newbie ships or the newbie gear or whatnot. Uh, that's just what you start with. In Eve, you have the newbie ships. It wasn't that big of a deal. No one ever really used them except for the intention of knowing they're going to get blown up in PvP, if even then. But the only thing I would ever use it for in Eve was tackle. In this game, it is balanced. It is balanced because you never fight anything way higher in tier. You have a fighting chance in a tier 1. And also, when it comes to the tier 1, when you're first starting out, the battles are restricted to tier 1 tanks only. So I think it's your first 10 battles. You never fight a tier 2. So that really gets you moving, gets you going, gets you up and ready for the tier 2s anyway. But all we have left is the MS1 for the tier 1s, and then we'll do a quick overview. Which one I like the best. But honestly, none of these 3 tanks, none of them really left an impression on me, other than I guess hooked me on the game. So I guess that has going for them. So next time we'll talk about the MS1. Later.